The Civilian Conservation Corps, as part of Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal legislation, was an important factor in helping solve high unemployment during the Great Depression. Working with the Soil Conservation Service, the CCC put thousands of young men to work on environmental conservation projects and, as a result, made a long-term positive impact on both the young enrollees and the land they cared for. While they might not have known it themselves, it was the hard work of the CCC Boys that put conservation back on the national agenda. In addition, the young men themselves were forever impacted by the CCC and their projects. CCC enrollee Louis Roydell. I left home when I was 18 years old. In the next few years, I learned to rely on myself and to do many different things that would help me later in life. Most of all, I learned to work with people and get along. The same was true of Merton Dowk. His CCC construction experience later landed him a job and a career at Findorf Construction Company in Madison. In 1938, recently discharged CCC worker Robert Romer wrote, "Boy, it is good to be home again, but wish I signed over, for I am camp sick. There's no work here. Say hello to everybody for me. Boy, I wish I was in camp. In January, I'm going to see if I can get back out there." In 1942, World War II interrupted the environmental progress of the 1930s and ended the CCC program. One of the first things asked as they entered military service was whether any of the men were veterans of the CCC. Enrollees who had lived the CCC life in barracks and were used to taking military orders were often asked to assume leadership positions in the war effort. Their CCC experience often meant they were promoted as sergeants and served as military training instructors. The poor farming practices of the 1800s and early 1900s dramatically increased soil erosion and became one of the reasons for the creation of the SCS-CCC projects. In the 1930s, at the farm that is now the Pope Farm Conservancy, you could have seen rows of crops planted straight up and down hillsides, and livestock overgrazing the land. The result? Water from storms and snowmelt rushed straight down the hill unimpeded, carrying the topsoil with it, to the point that there are only 10 inches of topsoil at the top of the hill and 6 feet of topsoil at the bottom. Each year, this erosion deepened and enlarged the ravine at the bottom of the hillside. Before the CCC built the Spillway in 1938, the Soil Conservation Service worked with Elmer and Clarence Brum, who farmed the land, to begin slowing soil erosion by employing new farming practices. They introduced contour plowing, growing crops sideways along the hill so that the horizontal rows would slow the water. They created grass waterways to direct and carry water without erosion. In 1938, the CCC crew arrived and built the concrete spillway at the base of the hill to gather and slow the water and keep the ravine from expanding up the hillside any further. The Civilian Conservation Corps reignited the conservation movement in the 1930s and shaped an entire generation by providing young, impoverished men with employment and opportunities to learn valuable skills. Re-emerging after World War II, the conservation movement continues to this day. The CCC effort was the forerunner of what we know today as the environmental movement. New techniques for stopping soil erosion have since been developed and work in harmony with the spillway and these early farming practices. In the 1960s, no-till planting was introduced. No-till planting features drilling the seed into the soil, instead of using a plow which turns the soil over and exposes it to erosion. In addition, debris from the prior year's crop is left on the ground, acting as water-absorbing mulch, which further slows sediment runoff. Reminders of past success, like the 1938 CCC Erosion Control Spillway at the Pope Farm Conservancy, is an important lesson on how a single project can create lasting positive change.